I always used to hate being told it's quantity over quality because it took a jab at my ego. I always stood on my work ethic. And so being told it's quantity over quality means that I wasn't doing enough. And so that means I was unproductive and lazy. And truth is, I was unproductive and lazy because I was spending too much time on one song and not really gaining the experience it takes to really grow, you know. And so I'd spend so much time on one song, and I may not even finish that song, or it may not even be good. But you know, someone who's constantly putting music out, you know, they're getting better and getting better. And even though their music may have sucked, and I have a song that's good, you know, I can hold that against them. It's like, hey, you know, take your time on it, you know, type of thing, you know, my method or whatever. But the truth is, it's a bit of both, and I'll get into why. But being told that before really shook my core because of that, you know, being competitive and really being, you know, oblivious to being unproductive and lazy. But before I get into that, I really want to dive in just a little bit on ego and how the ego works, because it's something I didn't know about until, you know, recently. And how the ego is, what the ego does is basically it measures you up to those around you or in the same field as you, you know, basically keeping up with the Joneses. That's basically what your ego is trying to do. And, you know, it holds this image that others expect from you. And when you don't live up to this image, that's when issues come. You know, you start to feel, you know, like a failure, or feel, you know, lack of confidence, a lot of negative thoughts going on in your mind that are really, you know, defeating you, you know, damaging who you are. And quantity or quality? Now, I'm actually dealing with issues that brought me to this question. The issues that I'm dealing with are having trouble finishing songs and just being stuck with writing songs. Now I'm sick of it. It's just annoying. But I came across this YouTube video of a guy explaining, you know, quantity or quality. It's from Think Media Podcast, and his answer that he gave is that quantity or quality just depends on the season that you're in. And there's 3 phases. If you're a beginner, this is where you need to do quantity. You know, you need to figure out what works best for you. He did it for YouTube artists or YouTubers. I'm doing it for musicians, and really it goes for everything. You know, it's the principle of life, you know, practice makes perfect. And so this just builds like a framework of, you know, understanding what goes on each level of it. So there's 3 phases. The first one is for beginners. You know, if you don't know what you're doing, you know, you just started rapping or singing or, you know, creating music, you need to do a lot of that so you can understand what works best for you, what voice sounds best for you, what beat, what, you know, topic you like talking about that works best for you, you know, things like that. And then you bring it to the world. You know, you start collecting data from people. After you have a good amount, you know, what you're going to do next is phase 2. Whoops. Phase 2. Phase 2. This is where you bring in quality. Quality is where, you know, you're gathering all the data that you got from phase 1. And now you're taking your time and you're applying all the data to create high quality. And with this, you know, based on the data that you found, you know, you have a good idea of what's going to be a great song, you know, and the things that go into that, you know, how to rap, how to deliver, how to sing, what key of song works best for you, you know, whatever, what's beats. And then after that, you take it to phase 3. Phase 3, this is where you know, you start reaching out to people, you know, hey, can you help me do this or that? Or you reach for tools to help you, you know, create things a lot faster. Maybe you mix, master, you know, you do everything. Now you can start giving that to other people. You know, you don't have to mix a song this time. Give it to this person. You don't have to make the beat this time. Give it to that person. You know, you just focus on the lyrics. And so everything's being done at a faster rate. He's making a beat. He can't mix right now. He got to wait for you to finish the song and then perform. And then he mixes the beat and masters it or whatever. You know, this whole thing. You have a team now. And this is when you start bringing quality at a faster rate. And that's phase 3. And of course, that is the goal. And so for me, like I said, I want to be able to create music at a faster rate. But there's a method to this. You want to work smart. You don't want to just be bashing your head against the wall the entire time, you know, you're trying to do quantity. You actually want to come at this at a strategic way. A strategic strategic way. For me, since I want to create songs at a lot faster rate, I figured I need to figure out how to find clarity in the idea. That was the issue. I didn't have clarity on what I wanted to write about. So I would write something good, but then after that, I would be stuck on what comes next, you know? And so this caused me to step back, deconstruct, you know, what I want to do, deconstruct the skill. I want to make music faster. Let me destruct it. Okay. Or destruct it. I hope I'm saying that right. But basically take the skill apart and figure out what thing you need to work on, what aspect of that skill you need to work on that leads you leads you faster to the goal that you actually want. And so for me, my issue is I need to find clear ideas, you know, have a clear idea. If I want to create songs faster, I have to have a clear idea so that I don't get stuck, or I'm able to pull myself out of those sticky spots a lot faster. And so this led me to storytelling, understanding storytelling, understanding how to structure the song and all these things. And I'm actually building a whole form for it, so I will share it with you once it's done. It'll be my my site under resources, or if you depending on when you're looking at this, it's probably in the description or at the end of the article. But anyway, I'm creating a form to, you know, a framework to help build a story out so that I have a clear idea. So once I have this clear idea, I no longer have to ask what comes next. All I have to do is figure out how I want to say it. And so that changes everything. And so this will help me start making songs a lot faster. And then as I'm doing this, I'm also learning the other aspects of things as well too, you know, basics of writing songs, you know, things like that. And even though I've been writing songs for a long time, basics are the fundamental things that will always be important, especially in this thing. When I want to write songs faster, you know, what are the basics that I need to know, you know? Basically, you know, that's basically like cutting to the point, you know. Learning the basics is basically cutting to the point. You know, I can't go wrong with knowing the basics. And so that's what I'm doing. And this whole article is about whether it's quantity or quality, and teaching you that it's both. And it depends on the season that you're in. And so for me, I'm on building quantity. You know, I'm writing out these stories and filling them out with the songs and building the framework of it all, so that I can come back, give it to you, so you can do the same thing along your journey. I hope you found value in this video, and there'll be plenty more. Just going over songwriting and things related to that in the mind. You know, growing your mind, because that powers everything.